Hello. I've been expecting you. Go ahead and take a seat. Please get comfortable. I'm just going to go ahead and look over your file, okay? Just to get up to date with all your information. Wonderful. Okay. Are you feeling okay to proceed? Alright. So, I have all your current information. And I'm just going to start out by confirming some facts with you before we move on to the evaluation. But before we do that, you seem a little bit nervous. So I just want to kind of reassure you that you are safe here in our clinic. We are a facility for the supernaturally inclined, run by the supernaturally inclined. So all of our doctors, research assistants, including myself, all have abilities just like you. Okay. I know you have been probably mistreated in the past or felt like a guinea pig at the other institutions. But I just want to, of course, reinforce that you are safe here and in good hands with your fellow friends, future friends, that is. Not just those of us who work here, but other individuals such as yourself who are going through the different evaluations and training programs. Okay. So I, for instance, have the ability of Pyrokinesis, otherwise known as being able to control fire using only my mind. And I can show you a little example if you want, if that would make you feel better to know that what I say is true, as I know you've been through some rough experiences in the past at the Orion lab. Would you like that? Okay. So what I'm going to do is just focus to, I don't want to exert too much energy. So I'm just going to have a little bit of fire come out of my hand in a moment. I like to get nice and relaxed before initiating the power. So this is my way of controlling it so that, I don't burn down the whole building. Okay, there we go, as you can see. Alright. Yes, I'm sure it's nice to know that you're in the hands of people who understand you. Right. I'm so glad that we found you. So I just want to, like I said, just validate this information, since this is your first day here at our facility, okay? Okay. And, what is the name that you like to be referred to as? Okay. And just so you know, your number here is 1072A for our file and database, okay? I know it's a little dehumanizing. Alright, so according to your file, your parents were part of the clinical trial at Orion Industries, and as part of this clinical trial, they were injected with the experimental drug known as Morpheus. Each of your parents developed one individual superpower, and then based on their altered DNA, they genetically pass this down to you. Okay, do I have that information correct? Okay, great. Also says here that your first experience of initiating or experiencing your first superpower was 1 year ago to this date. Okay. And that it was triggered by fear. Okay. That's a pretty common trigger for young people like yourself when you first are developing your supernatural abilities. It's kind of like a flight or fight response. It's our own personal, extra human-like sense of defense, yes. But I know here it says that you've managed to learn how to control your abilities a little bit. Okay. Right, well, I know you are still having some issues with that, but we're going to help you along with that process. Like I said, others like yourself are here and communicating with us, with them. Right. So we're all here as a team. Yeah. Okay. So, thank you for that information. Now I have kind of a checklist of what we have on record as your possible superpowers. These are based on the testing of your different factors in your DNA. So based on our analyzation of your individual DNA, you should be able to have already developed some of these superpowers, or you will be able to initiate them eventually with practice. Okay? And if there are any abilities that I don't mention, just please communicate that to me. Okay? So the first one here is Psychokinesis or Telekinesis, using psychic ability to influence a physical system without any actual physical interaction. Is this something that you have experienced? Okay, great. Next is telepathy, transmission of information from one person's mind to another's without using any known human-centric channels or physical interaction. Have you experienced the ability of telepathy? Okay. Next one is the one that I mentioned before that I have, Pyrokinesis, the psychic ability, allowing a person to create and control fire with the mind. And last, precognition, the ability to gain knowledge about future events without using induction or deduction from known facts. Okay, so you've experienced 3 out of the 4, excluding the pyrokinesis, correct? Okay. Which of the ones I mentioned has been the strongest ability for you? The telekinesis, pyrokinesis, okay. Well, that's actually what it shows in your DNA analysis, that should be the ability with the strongest genetic potential. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is ask you just to briefly try and trigger these superpower abilities. Alright. To the best of your ability. Now I know you said they were originally elicited by fear, but that you can now produce them more at will. Okay. And it's okay if you can't, manifest the abilities for a certain, length of period. Just try to do it even if it's only for a short amount of time. In the instance of telekinesis is what we're going to start with. Okay. So it's very important to try to relax your body and mind as much as possible. I'm sure you found this to be true. You can use different forms of meditation or trance to get into a state where your mind's very clear and where you can then manifest and control the ability at will. Alright, versus when you were first introduced to these abilities, and I'm sure things got a little out of hand, right? A lot of broken dishes, I imagine. Yeah. Well, don't feel bad. I kind of almost burned down my school, so yeah. Then got arrested for arson. But let's not get into that. So go ahead and just get very relaxed. And just focus solely on moving something in this room. Okay? Just please try to control it and try not to hit my head if you can, okay? Alright. Take your time. What an extraordinary ability. I'm almost jealous. I only have the one, but I guess it's better than none, right? Rather be a mutant than a regular human being any day of the year. Alright, let's see how long you can keep these objects moving. Perfect. Just stay focused, calm, nice and grounded. yourself beginning to get exhausted, then slowly, gradually bring the objects back to their original position and do some breathing. Okay, if you're feeling like that, go ahead and just try to do that now. Remember, very slowly, stay calm and steady. Okay, very good. That was excellent. Just gonna make note so that over time we'll see your progress here, or see your ability strengthening or enhancing using our different programs and training foundation. Okay. So the next one that is of greater potential for you was the telepathy. So even though I am not telepathic, you should be able to use your telepathy, hopefully, in order to kind of push an idea into my mind. Just please only work on things like symbols or colors or words. So please try to transmit a color from your mind to mind, and we'll do about 5 different colors. Okay, actually we'll do colors, but also do animals or locations, things like that, things that to keep somewhat of a variety. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to sit back, and I know you need to keep eye contact for this, so we'll go through this process of awkward eye contact for the sake of science. Violet. Good. Now, see, is it the ocean? Wow. Okay. Great. 2 for 2. You can try a third. Giraffe. Okay. Just give me a moment. Even though superpowers don't affect me like it would humans, it can still be a little bit draining, so we just need a moment to recollect. But don't worry, since you're not pushing my mind to actually rearrange or do anything, you're not using your abilities on me for nefarious purposes, so it's not actually doing any damage, just like I said, a little bit energy draining. Alright, so let's go ahead and do 2 more. Elephant. Okay, great. One last one. The number 17. Okay. Perfect. You did a great job. Excellent. So pyrokinesis is one that you've not experienced. Okay. Well, just because it comes up as a possibility in your DNA sequence, it doesn't mean you'll necessarily ever be able to initiate it. However, after a few weeks here, we can probably determine if you will be able to or not. Okay. Now, the last one, I can't really. I mean, we can test it, but I'm not going to be able to determine it until the future, since it's precognition. Obviously, ability to gain knowledge about future events. So this one's a little bit more tricky. But has there been anything kind of popping out at you lately? It's okay if it hasn't. How about you just tell me about your last experience of precognition? Mm-hmm. So it was actually about coming here and finding us. So that's how you found us. Oh, yeah, I did see that. Thought I saw that in your file. Can you just explain to me how this vision was for you? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it was all visual and no auditory. Okay. Hmm? Oh, a student here actually sent this from their mind to yours using telepathy. Oh, wow. Oh, I think I know who that is. Yeah, that's actually, they're helping us out a lot by finding fellow beings such as ourselves through their very strong use of telepathy. Yeah, well, they've been here for about a year. Mm-hmm. So they're on their way towards graduating. That's so glad that brought you here. So obviously what we're doing here is working, which is always positive. Alright. Now, are there any other abilities that I didn't mention that you think you might have? Okay, yeah, I mean, usually no one would really have more than 4. I mean, there's always an exception to the rule. Mm-hmm. Especially considering that we have heard some theories that Orion Industries has been working on an even more advanced experimental drug, which is creating new forms of people like us, those with even abilities that we've never heard of, but it's hard for us to truly get that much information, as they have a lot of power. And yeah, right. Well, well, I'm so glad you were able to get out of there. Mm-hmm. You don't have to get into it. I know it's probably pretty triggering. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we're so glad that you're here. How are you feeling now? A little bit better? Okay, that's good. Alright, well, I'm sure you're probably tired. So, I can go and take you to your own personal room where you'll be staying. It's a little bit small, as you know, we're a bit limited on space as of right now, but we are working on getting some more government funding. Mm-hmm. Well, we have a few, good guys on our side, you could say. Right? There's still a few altruistic people in power out there, believe it or not. So yeah, I'll take you along that way. Is there anything else that I can kind of clarify for you at all? Okay. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's okay. If you're not sure at the moment, you can talk to me tomorrow after you've had some rest, okay? Alright, so how about we just move on to your housing